As the world mourns Pope Francis, history's most secretive transfer of power begins. White smoke, the path to a new pope, guides you through this momentous transition. We explain exactly what happens next, leading to the dramatic conclave vote. Learn how each ritual unfolds, what each tradition means, and why these ancient ceremonies still matter today. Follow along as the throne of St. Peter stands empty and a new chapter in church history begins. White Smoke, available wherever you get your podcasts.
Do you know what a group of flamingos is called? That's just one of thousands of facts you'll discover on 5 daily trivia questions. Hi, I'm Mark Ellison. Join me every weekday for 5 mind-expanding questions about everything from ancient history to modern technology. Perfect for impressing friends or dominating your next pub quiz. 5 daily trivia questions. And the answer, a group of flamingos, is called a flamboyance. 5 daily trivia questions.
Calaroga Shark Media.
Hi there, I'm Johnny Mac with 5 good news stories. Good news, the Scottish government wants you to know it's not going to ban cats. Whew, I was worried about that one. First Minister John Swinney was forced to issue the statement after a report by experts branded felines a threat to Scotland's wildlife and suggested containment measures be considered. The Scottish Animal Welfare Commission said cats kill at least 700 million birds and other animals each year in the UK. It advised the government to consider a range of measures, including keeping domestic cats indoors or on leashes to protect endangered species, such as Scottish wildcats. The report said cat containment measures could also include restrictions on introducing cats to households in vulnerable areas, interpreted by some as effectively a ban. The Daily Mail reported fury as households in Scotland could be banned from getting a pet cat. The First Minister said, "Let me just clear this up. The government's not going to be banning cats or restricting cats. We have no intention of doing so, and we will not be doing it." Alice Palumbo works for Cats Protection, the UK's biggest cat charity. Alice said, "Scotland is a nation of cat lovers. Cats are great pets for all sorts of reasons, whether it's providing companionship for elderly people or those living alone, comfort for people with health conditions, or helping children learn important lessons and caring for others." Meanwhile, in Krakow, the fire-spitting dragon sculpture is taking a break. Experts are trying to determine why the fire-spitting dragon sculpture has been consuming too much gas. It's an iconic metal sculpture of a dragon that spits real fire. It's on a break for a month. Experts wanted to check the gas feeds for the 19-foot sculpture to find ways of reducing the dragon's energy bills. It's a major tourist attraction. Millions of visitors come each year to watch the flames jutting from its snout every 3 minutes. The sculpture's from the 1960s, but refers to a centuries-old legend in Krakow's history. According to the story, Krakow was harassed by a bloodthirsty dragon that fed on the locals' cattle, and sometimes even on young maidens. A resourceful young shoemaker offered the beast a sheepskin stuffed with sulfur that gave the dragon a burning feeling inside. Then, the dragon drank so much water from the nearby river that it burst. A New York zoo had an auction. It was artwork created by animals. Penguins, giraffes, sloths, capybaras, and others created some artwork. The Animal Adventure Park and Preserve in Harpersville announced the auction, a silent auction, for works of art created by several of the species that call the zoo home. Zookeeper Michaela explained, "With our penguins, the easiest way for me to get them to paint is with food. They're very food motivated. And if some days they don't feel like using food, they'll chase around a cat laser." Meanwhile, in a Nebraska animal hospital, an opossum was treated after wandering into a family's backyard and gorging itself on an entire chocolate mousse cake from Costco. The magic of this show are the details. It's not just a chocolate mousse cake, it's a chocolate mousse cake from Costco. Kim said the cake had been placed on a table in her backyard because she was out of room in her fridge. She explained, "I always have a house full and we cook a lot. And when you run out of room in the fridge, you just sit it on the table outside in the winter." She said her son took some fresh-made peanut butter balls outside to cool down and discovered an opossum curled up on the outdoor furniture covered in chocolate paw prints. Kim says the cake had been knocked off the table and was sitting on the floor in front of where she was. The cover was off and was almost gone. The opossum looked a little distressed. We thought we'd better call the Humane Society and get the guy checked out. A Nebraska Humane Society animal control officer took the opossum to Nebraska Wildlife Rehab, which posted a photo of the animal to social media with a note saying, "Opossum was brought in due to having eaten an entire Costco chocolate cake." As I said, the details are what makes these things fun. You know how the story goes. I don't do jerky stories. The opossum is going to be okay. The rehab facility tells us with some time in rehab and a diet reset, this chocoholic should be stabilized enough to return to the wild, but until then, she's definitely a little cranky about our strict zero chocolate policy. White smoke. The path to a new pope explores humanity's most elaborate and secretive transfer of power, a process now unfolding following the death of Pope Francis. This series reveals the hidden rituals, ancient traditions, and behind-the-scenes drama of papal transition. As the Catholic world enters this solemn period of mourning and anticipation, join us in witnessing how the Church has perfected this sacred process over 2,000 years, and what happens in these crucial days when the throne of St. Peter stands empty. White Smoke brings listeners inside the conclave that will determine who will succeed Pope Francis and lead the Church into its next chapter. White Smoke, wherever you get your podcasts.
You can get this podcast completely ad-free right now. If you're on Apple, just click the banner that says Uninterrupted Listening, and you'll get your first month free. If you use Spotify or other podcast players, go to calaroga.com/plus. It's just $5 a month, and you'll get access to over 20 premium shows with no interruptions. Binge listen to new series like the political thriller Acting President, Signal Lost, where military secrets land on the wrong phone, and Pager Protocol, the thriller about exploding pagers in the wrong hands. Plus, enjoy daily shows like Palace Intrigue about the royal family, daily comedy news, and 5 daily trivia questions to test your knowledge, and White Smoke, taking you behind the scenes at what's happening right now at the Vatican. You also get all our hot shows like 5 good news stories. Enjoy your favorite content without any ad breaks. Remember, Apple users click the Uninterrupted Listening banner for your free first month, and everyone else head to calaroga.com/plus. Get ad-free listening today.
And for our final story today, California, I don't know what is going on out there. I think you guys just don't want to get to work and you just make stuff up so you can tell the boss and everybody just goes, yeah, I guess that happened. The California Highway Patrol reported that officers responded to a report of a traffic hazard on I-580 near Redwood Road, and they showed up and found that thousands of chopsticks had spilled onto the highway. Their social media post says, turns out somebody turned the freeway into a giant game of pickup sticks. Unfortunately, this means a local restaurant might be short on utensils tonight. The California Highway Patrol reminds you, make sure your loads are properly secured. And those are your 5 good news stories for today. Fun one today. If you enjoy the program, tell a friend about it. They might like it too. And I'll see you next time. Have an awesome day.